Oh, hey now, it's Serious Star Trek. Wait, what's going on here? Serious Star Trek. It's me, Dantron, but you guys can hear me, but you can't see me. I got major technical difficulties, dude. What is going on over here? Oh, that's much better. Hey, welcome to Serious Star Trek, guys. You know, before we start the show, I just wanted to let you know I've disassociated myself from my actual body and have decided to just become a complete virtual construct here inside of the ship and the holodeck. So you bear with me for any of the wacky graphics that you see, courtesy of our new sponsor, Danger Room. If you want these kind of graphics on your stream, you coming soon to internet near you. And now, without further ado, let's see your hosts and mine, Captain Larry Young and Dr. Johnny Price, PhD. Hey guys.
Hey guys, what's happening?
Rock on!
Star Trek.
Yeah, we're in Star Trek so hard.
Excellent.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks. So what is happening?
We should get some sponsors, actually. We should. Who should sponsor the show?
I was just trying to think. Who could we get to sponsor? I don't know.
Well, we have I have some offers out from Romulan Ale.
Romulan is good. It's good.
Yeah. And it's an energy drink, unfortunately, and I don't think it's probably very good.
We should try to get Screen Rant to sponsor this. You know, they won't accept my writing. Maybe they'll accept my cluttered room.
I just got a thing from LinkedIn saying Screen Rant is looking for an editorial writer, and I read all their stuff, and I was like, oh my God.
I almost feel bad that I went through the process and I got down to the final two. They chose the other person over me. And they told me, they're like, it was between two people and we chose the other person. I'm like, okay.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, okay. That's not. Well, now they get a lifetime of you and all your friends making fun of them. Was it worth it, Screen Rant? Was it worth it?
You don't want to be a part of that kind of operation anyway.
No, because they're awful. But I wanted to improve them. Anyway, this isn't about me.
Speaking of awful, guys, what's up in the world of Star Trek this week?
Well, I decided
Discovery, right? That's the thing.
Discovery's back. I haven't watched it since the mid-season break or whatever. And I just decided the other day, I'm like, I'm never gonna watch Discovery again. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, didn't you get internet famous for ripping on Discovery for like 2 years straight? Didn't it make you like at least probably like $30 over 2 years from medium.com?
I think that's what got
the answer is yes.
Star Trek too.
That's right. So yes, I understand your confusion that I wouldn't want to continue watching Star Trek Discovery. However, it is painful how bad that show is. And there's no reason to watch it because in my little fan fiction universe in my own head, it doesn't exist. That's it. Just hand wave it away. Larry, rebuttal?
Yes, no, I have no notes. I still am watching it because I'm gonna just ride that thing into the heart of the sun. The missus reminded me, I'm like, you didn't even watch all the Enterprise episodes and you like that show. There's a point where you just kind of go, I get what they're doing. And but I sort of felt badly for them this week because they have a new show, but they also have to go against people's demands for attention from Picard. So if you only have an hour to watch TV, you're going to watch Picard and not watch Discovery.
Yeah.
I watched them both because I wanted to see what is happening, and you will never believe this, but Discovery for the first time had an episode where there's some actual Star Trek in it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is the one that no one's going to know about because they all watched Picard. But there's a bit where, Michael Berman and the Doctor and two other guys, Saru, it doesn't matter. Four of them go down and they have a spacesuit and they're standing in front of the, green screen, but it actually looks like an alien planet. It's not, the cardboard and red lights of the first one, but it's not like the super over designed, look, the trees are red stuff of the JJ verse, the usual. It really looked like a 1970s sci-fi paperback planet, with like weird mushroomy kind of things, and they're walking around and their suits are cool, and they had like a little thing where something came in through their filter systems and gave people varying amounts of hallucinations, and they had to figure it out as they went along. And
that sounds very Star Trek-ish.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was only about 13 to 15 minutes of the episode. And the rest of it was all like, oh, I'm so crying. Fucking finally, there's a captain's log, right? But she goes, I've never been more afraid. Like, are you fucking out of your mind?
That's what you put in.
Would you write the captain's log and have the fucking captain say that? Oh,
you're more in touch with those kind of emotions in the future, Larry.
But
it's true.
It's not so much being in touch.
She's not.
It's not. My problem isn't so much being in touch with the emotions, because that's great. There's emotions all over action adventure shows, but like John's always talking about The Expanse. Like there's room for romance and intrigue and heartbreak and fucking consequences, but
pathos. Pathos is great.
The top of the here's what's going on. I'm fucking shitting my pants. Like that doesn't fill the audience with a sense of
it's just more telling, not showing. That's all it is. Which they excel at. They excel at that.
Anyway, so what I was saying before the show is, if you happen to watch this one, there's some actual Star Trek in it. It's actually kind of cool. But Saru in a spacesuit, a form-fitting spacesuit, was awesome. And what they did for his boots and his helmet was just really cool. I liked it.
Doug Jones, man, he kills it. He's a great actor.
Oh man, he's great.
Yeah.
I liked the doctor, this Wilson Cruz, I think the actor's name is. He was pretty good. Yeah. But man, they write him the whole like, I'm not holding it together, and yet my role in the show is to hold everyone together. And it's
that's a recurring issue with Discovery. Is they have good actors and they give them these awful roles. So anyway, I'm not watching ever again. So
anyway, let's do Picard.
Yeah,
Picard. Well, guys, we've got how many eyeballs out there? 8 eyeballs divided by 2. That's 4 people. So,
how many of you 8 eyeballs want this little guy?
Exactly right. It's Quatlu time. Bring in those
Quatlu time. Serious Star Trek.
Who knows? You just might get a what do you get? Boom. Super Quat.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. People don't seem to really understand that these Quatlus are real physical objects.
It's very unclear.
Two of the guys from Lowell.
I have a whole bunch of them.
2 of the guys from Lowell came over and hung out last weekend, and they saw the Dork Court area and everything. They're like, those Quatlus are real, and I gave them each a Quatlu. I'm like, you can only get them from me or John or Dantron. So
limited edition.
And then Walker comes back from the next day from school and like, yeah, everybody's jealous about the Quatlus, and I'm like, all right, yes, my plan has succeeded.
Mad Quatlus, kids. Mad Quatlus. So, yeah, that's right. So, bring some comments. If we like what you say, maybe we'll spontaneously nominate you for a Quatlu, and you can reach out to Larry, and we will send you one of these bad boys. So, keep those comments coming, folks. But let's get into Picard here, guys. Before we do, I want a caveat here. This is my March of Independence. So I don't watch any corporate TV shows or movies. I think I decided, though, Larry, and you tell me if you think this is fair. Books, I think, are off the table because it's as long as it's a singular work by a singular author. I don't think, like, I'm not reading any like movie adaptations or like.
I guess it depends where you draw the line, right? Like, I get that books are not a technological marvel really since the 1600s, but But you know what? If you read a X-Files adaptation, that's corporate stuff, right?
That's what I mean. I won't read that.
Like young Indiana
here's
Jones.
But here's the thing, though: if you have like just a regular author, they've been cleared by the whole corporate structure of editorial to get published in the first place.
I think that's probably true for the most part, but like, give me a break, Larry. I got
no, that's why I'm laughing. I'm just like automatically trying to poke holes in it instead of going, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if they have clout as an author, like Stephen King could write whatever he wants, right? It's gonna get published.
I think if you're really doing this, you know, formal structure, you need to only read your own novels and produce haiku and various maybe some scrimshaw. But
J.K. Rowling is allowed to spout anti-Semitic propaganda through her novels, right? According to the media, that's what the media is saying.
That's true. It's very true.
That's a subject you want to tackle in your own novels.
Yeah, I just believe everything I see out of Earth Media because it seems so trustworthy. We get it. Granted, we get it several years later because of the light speed thing, but like, I love that Edward R. Murrow.
Wow, how far? I was going to say. So, how far? What's your planet's name? How far away are you? Where's?
Well, we're on season 2 of I Love Lucy right now. So you let me know how this whole Cold War thing works out.
So that's like you must be 50 light years away, give or take.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, 56, I think. So, what's your?
So let me ask a quick question, Dantron. Can I share my screen so you guys can see my notes?
Absolutely.
Oh, I read that on Facebook out loud to my kid. I was like, look at all the LOLs Dr. John has.
Absolutely, you can.
So
you see that share screen button at the bottom?
Share screen.
And then you sort of have to pick what you're going to share. A little window is going to come up and you got to pick.
Yeah. Window.
Wow, I'm riveted.
I know, right?
People talking about Quatloops.
Okay, so this is can you see that?
No, now we can't. Hang on. Stand by.
There you go.
Okay.
Sort of.
So I just want to start. I just want to go over what my
zoom that puppy, John. We don't need all that. Or better yet, resize your window to be narrower.
Narrower?
Yes, trust me.
Okay. I do trust you.
Dantron knows what he's talking about. Oh, look at that. Now I can read it. Yeah.
Is that better?
That's readable. Yes.
Okay.
I'm upset there isn't anything upsetting in this. And it's just like a cut and paste document that's unobjectionable.
Well, these are just mine. I just want to introduce the audience to what I was feeling at the very beginning. Okay. So when I started, I had 3 questions. Will they soft reboot the show? Will they un-Android Picard? And will they dredge up any more TNG people? The answer is
yes
no,
to everything.
Yes, no, yes. Of course, we press play, and only Paramount will auto start.
I hate that interface.
1. Only fucking Paramount. It drives me nuts. So yeah, how many times did I write LOL? 1, 2, 3.
So wait a minute, John. Break down those points for a second.
Yeah, why don't instead of reading the whole thing, why don't we go one at a time?
Yeah, hang on. Will they soft reboot the show? Meaning, it wasn't working up to season 2. So
let's season 1 sucks.
Bring in Cousin Arnold, or let's bring in what's a.
Well, you know what they did? They absolutely did that. But everybody is a Starfleet officer now, which is a welcome change, and I love that. No, yes, please. In Star Trek, put everybody on a ship. Let's then see.
I really like Captain Rios.
Yeah, me too.
Really
Give me that show.
I want that ship. Yeah.
I want that show even. Like, I get how he's not able to smoke, but I love they let him like just walk around with his stogie.
Yeah, the smoking is pretty fucking stupid.
No, I think it's awesome. The captain's just like, come on, let's. It's my fucking
that's fair.
show.
That's fair. I'll give him that.
I don't care that your shit smells like my cigar. I'm the captain.
I mean, if they arguably cured cancer in the future, why not? Why can't you smoke stogies?
That's true. That's true.
If you can drink scotch,
Well, you can always
choice.
drink scotch.
Yeah, we don't have to wait for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Tony. Actually, he sounds like he's. But those are the characters
I liked
always
Rios
loved.
last year. They just gave him that stupid like mental breakdown in like the last episode.
So
Okay.
what are the elements though that make you say it's a soft reboot, or did you say no to question number one? I missed the rundown.
So I said yes, it is definitely a soft reboot of the show.
Why do you say that? What's your definition of a soft? What makes this a reboot?
Well, one, there's a time jump. It's 2 years later.
Classic reboot.
They changed the fundamental structure, which is Rios and these guys were all independents. Now they're all Starfleet officers. Right? Jean-Luc Picard was a pariah to Starfleet, and now he is he's in charge of the academy or something, whatever the fuck. Whatever, right? And the seeming purpose of, or I should say, thematic kind of visual style, I suppose, of the first season has been completely replaced. Like, it looks like a different show, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. The one thing that they tried to have a little continuity with they show the android when they swap realities, and Picard's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you get the idea that like all that the first season didn't happen, basically.
Yeah.
And with one guy, I thought that was really cool, but it was so visually jarring to me personally, because I agree with you. Like, it was the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes of the show. So you got the idea. Oh, they've really swapped out that weird season one aesthetic. That's cool, and I got totally used to it because it felt very Star Trek. And then when that guy showed up, I'm like, what? Oh, right. So every time where they tried to remind you of season one, I thought really fell flat. Just even seeing Soji, I was like, oh, not her again.
I hated it. I hated being reminded of season one. Yeah. Every time I like Elnor the Brave, like I hated it. Like Soji, I hated it. All the season one elements, like, go away. Just get out.
But you know what was cool is, at least in this episode, Elnor and Soji were kind of like, they were kind of put off to the side, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I did love Allison Pill was like a little looser this time. I mean, if your last name is Pill in real life, people are going to make some judgments, right?
I love Allison Pill. I think she's a great actress. I love everything she's in except season one of Picard. Like, literally, everything else.
I've seen her in Newsroom. She was fantastic in that.
Yeah.
And I love her byplay with Rios. Just like, you know, just let her go. Like, give me that show, right? I mean, but once again, they can't just come up with a new ship name. It has to be the Stargazer, even though they go out of their way. Like,
we're gonna get to the Stargazer. Don't worry.
All right, sorry,
because it is possibly the ugliest ship they have designed in the new.
Okay, John. Well, will they reboot? Answer clearly, yes. This is a reboot.
Absolutely.
You're telling me they did a time jump and a complete motivational shift? We're gonna say reboot.
Yeah.
Okay. Will they un-android Picard?
Yeah. The answer is sort of, because they don't talk about it at all. There's There's like two offlines. Like, Guinan makes a joke, and Allison Pill makes a joke, or like a one-liner. Other than that,
they're pretty specific, though. You're looking very positronic today.
Sure.
I think, but
I thought you were kidding about that, Larry.
No,
that's it. That's the line. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think they did un-android him because of the events at the end. I don't think like Q had anything to do with it. I think it's whatever the time bamfing the Borg are using that did that. Because just putting him back to 2024 or whatever, Picard doesn't exist back then, right? So I don't know.
Well, and the whole thematic thing about, oh, you've never had love in your life. I mean, you can't have that theme if he literally is a robot. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, so for the audience, they're trying to trick the audience. They're trying to trick the audience into saying, "Oh, look, Picard needs to find love," and it's like, "Oh, therefore you're gonna forget that he's a robot."
So Mimi's not a giant Star Trek fan, but she knows like fixed moments in time, and she's like she was walking around. She wasn't even watching it with me. She was like walking by, but she saw that. She goes, "Are they even addressing that robot thing?" And I'm like, "No." And she just like walks by, and then like the most like detached tone of voice possible is like, "Oh, this is like Harry Kim all over again." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I didn't even know you knew that reference, and it's like that
really deserves a
bothers
Quatlu right there.
Yeah.
Big time. That's Quatlu's for Mimi.
It just bugged her.
Guys, is it just because I haven't watched any of the seasons? Was that left as a question? Will he or won't he be human again, or we just don't? Because it's a couple years later. It's like anything could have happened at this point.
They specifically made him like a Data type android.
Yeah,
But with
he is in the season 3, or they haven't told you yet, and it's ambiguous as far as the storytelling so far. Is what you're saying? No. He unambiguously.
No.
The answer is no. They did not un-android Picard. Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe. So they shift. They're going into like this parallel alternate universe because of course they are. It's an Alex Kurtzman show. But
gotta sell the toys.
So maybe.
Well, that opens up your third question, and this one seems to be like a lock because like that is what this show exists for, right? Yeah. Is for this purpose. Who did we get? Did we get anybody new in the?
We got Guinan. Guinan and Q. Guinan and Q are the big ones in this episode. Yeah.
And they got what's his name, Delancey or whatever.
John Delancey. Yeah.
Man, they handled that
fantastic. By the way,
they handled that really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are they answering those questions about? Did they ever answer those questions about Guinan and the Q continuum and the connection between? Wasn't there some kind of?
Not yet.
They just
never explicitly addressed that though. But I've always remembered there was some sort of underlying like, what is Guinan all about?
Yeah, Q is definitely scared of Guinan at one point in the TNG, whatever episode that is.
It's all the LRNs though that he's scared of, right? All the guy, So anyway,
like
they Dantron, you will love this. They handle it with all the stuff that's going on in serious sci-fi about CG replacing, actors and stuff. They had to have a line for Guinan that, like, we're extremely long-lived, but we can age when we want to. So that's why I look like a balloon.
We can put on 30, 40 pounds if we want to. It's
but so they did.
I don't have an issue with the way like she looks at all.
No. But... I was just I was just going to bookend that with what they did with Q, which was the opposite, where they CG'd his face for just a second, where he's like, "Hey, I'm this immortal being." Oh wait, I better just like catch up to where you are, and he like snapped himself to what he looks like now. And I thought that was so much more elegant that they just kind of like poop on Whoopi Goldberg, but they actually did like a little, story point for Q.
I thought Q looked great. I like the little goatee,
Yeah, no, that whole thing was awesome. I loved Q.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think it makes sense for them, though, to make Picard an android, keep him an android, because then it's like they just minted a Patrick Stewart NFT. Now they can just replace him with, you know what I mean? They could bring in a 3D Picard now, a deep fake Picard, well into whatever series they want.
I was reading today. They said that they're I had some nonsense somewhere that said that they're shooting season 3 simultaneously.
Yeah,
and
because they don't want him to die.
But that's what they said in the article. They go, because they have such a high confidence of the success of the program. And I was like, no, they have a high confidence that Patrick Stewart.
They don't want Carrie Fisher syndrome, where they have this big arc and then she dies. Like
I can imagine they're like, hey, Patrick, if you got any spare time, we would like to like 3D scan every crevice of your body.
Yeah, right.
Could you sign this saying that we own it?
Yeah.
Didn't they get Majel? Maybe it's a rumor. I don't know. Majel Roddenberry she recorded like every like vocal sound so they could use her voice for the computer.
That makes
they never do. They never do. So I don't know if it's true or not.
I feel like this is like a strategy now that's super viable.
Yeah.
Remember, dude, when they first got into that replacing film and they used to do like the vacuum cleaner commercials with Fred Astaire or Gene Kelly or whatever. And everyone was like, oh no, they're going to do this. This is going to be the thing. They could never really do it. They could only transfer old stuff into new stuff before. But now it's wide open now at this point. Like, reality's up for grabs.
Yeah. Yeah, for Indy 5, that's what they're doing for Harrison Ford.
Totally.
Anyway,
yes. No more Indiana Jones.
Up TNG characters.
Who's not just that? Who's your number one TNG character you want to see, John?
Yeah,
John Price.
That's what I was about to ask.
Oh, were you really? Oh.
Like, who's left?
I mean,
who's left?
If you're talking about Picard in love, how can you not have Dr. Bev come on? Like, where the hell is Bev? Justice for Bev. # Justice for Bev.
My number one ask is Barclay. I want to see him.
Barclay'd be great.
I want to see him just handling it. He's like an admiral somewhere or captain of his own ship and just fucking kicking ass. And
you think so, huh?
That's what I want to see. This will never happen. But
he overcame his personal.
Man, he figured it out. You know, he's like Captain's Log, Reginald Barclay here.
Okay,
I for one am not afraid.
That would be great. Okay, wait a minute. Bear with me here. You open an episode and it's like Admiral Barclay, and he goes home to his wife and kids and family and stuff, and he's got like this grandchildren, and then the holodeck turns off, and it's like he just never got out of that holodeck mode.
Oh, it's so bleak. That's probably it. But then you just made everybody sad. All the Tilly fans got sad that Barclay didn't figure it out.
Yeah, right. Yep.
All right, what's next on your list?
The opening is basically J.J. Abrams' style scene, which sucks. And our first shot of Picard is him cowering in fear. So that pretty much sets the tone for, everything. Just shit.
My kid woke up this morning and went, "Hey, Picard's mom is hot, LOL." And all he knows is me reading that to him before we went to bed.
Yep. Also, apparently Picard was abused as a child, and I didn't like any of that. Like,
what was up with that?
It's such a stupid, it's like in creative writing class when they're like, you have one too many character features. Like, just take away that one paragraph and you're fine. Like,
I thought his trauma was premature male pattern baldness. Like, it happened at like age 15 or
definitely
something.
Did. Yeah.
That's what put him on his mission.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah. So then they have this like forced scene where the Romulan housekeeper lady is like throwing herself at him, which was awkward and terrible.
I didn't even get the point of that, right? Because she knows that he's a robot.
Also, he's literally 95. He was born in 2305.
Right.
Literally, he's literally 95 years old.
Yeah. Story. And so
they're fully.
She's like, I'm old. I don't have time for games. I'm like, yeah, he's an old robot.
Yeah, because he's gonna die like any
What's
second.
He got 4 years. I mean, come on.
Anyway. Yeah. So then it was cool. One cool thing was they got an extra, and I didn't recognize this, but I saw this online that the Admiral is actually was an extra in TNG. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, right on.
Different. They're not playing the same character. So they have different names, but like she was a bridge extra in TNG.
Right. They just brought her back. That's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Did you hear the John Billingsley story about that?
No.
I just read an interview with him, and there was one little bit about Star Trek, and he's like, "Yeah, my agent calls me up and says they want me to come in and audition for a small cameo in Strange New Worlds." And I told him, "Yeah, you guys know I was in Star Trek, right?" And I love that. It's like,
That's great.
I'm not gonna do that. But
That's
like said in
great.
the nicest way possible, Anyway, that's what
hilarious.
reminds me of that.
I really like that guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
Tony says, yeah, trying to. I don't know. I don't get it, because if you're an android, why does it matter how old he is? And like, why can't androids can love, right? Like Mr. Data can fall in love. We've established, and
He was fully functional. Yeah, he was.
Perfect boyfriend.
I don't know. See, there was that whole episode with Michelle, what's her name, from Alien Nation. That where he was trying to have a girlfriend and it didn't work because even his emotion chip, he's not loving people. Sorry, nope.
He'd just be he's kind of a drip. He'd be kind of a drip, but
that Romulan chick has just obviously got some kinks. That's cool. Whatever.
Also, they definitely I was looking at pictures of her from the first season. They definitely sexied her up for this.
Oh, they definitely did.
They definitely gave her dark eyeshadow and I was like, okay,
but you
don't have to do that.
You can kind of see it though. She was farm worker girl a year and a half ago, and I
love that character. You and I talked about this at the time. That's a great character. I love that. But don't whore her out just to be good. Don't slut her up. You know what I mean?
I just don't get the whole like you said. There's an extra character trait. There's an extra thread in the narrative that it just doesn't matter. If you're going to explore, it's the human adventures just beginning. If you're going to explore that, all that happened to Picard, that's great. That happened to Picard. He's dead. Yeah. This is the robot, and I'm sorry, I'll never buy it. Never.
Hey, I sorry guys, I got bounced for a second there, but you brought up Alien Nation, Larry, and I think in a future serious sci-fi segment we should definitely talk about Alien Nation, the movie and the TV show, because the TV show I think is one of those rare instances where the TV show got better than the movie.
I agree 100%. They really aired out the concept. Yeah,
is that V? Is that V? The show?
No, it was on Fox. No, right at the time.
The movie
the best shows ever on Fox.
Wow, you haven't seen any of that, John? You would love the movie. The movie's it's just a straight up buddy cop film noir thing. The one thing they ask you to buy is one of the buddies is an alien, and who's
okay. I'm in. Yeah,
I'm in. It's fucking great. And the aliens are sort of like a lower class because they're all these worker guys that their ship kind of had to stop on Earth and they can't get off.
That's funny.
So they just assimilate and so all the humans have finally given up on race stuff because they're all bigoted against the aliens.
So fuck the aliens, dude. That's awesome. I mean,
immigrant
James Caan and Mandy Patinkin, you'll fucking love the movie.
Yeah, they're smart, family oriented, and a little stronger and a little smarter than humans, even.
Yeah.
So the bad guy aliens are really bad, and the family ones are really cool. And the only movie only has one thing better than the show. And that's James Caan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jimmy Caan.
I kind of disagree though, because James Caan is being James Caan.
True.
So it's so distracting to me that it's oh, Sonny Corleone, you don't like the Dallas Cowboys. It's but no, the movie's still great. But you take that, the movie's hamstrung because you got to tell a 2-hour story, right? But you take that, air it out for what was it on? 6 or 7 years? That TV show was crazy good.
It was.
I couldn't believe it.
I have a hard time thinking of a better adaptation of a movie to TV show, sci-fi wise.
That I was going to say, definitely genre wise.
Because they got it's on the level of MASH, I would say, where the show is better than the film. You know what I mean? They took those themes and they play them out and did a really good job of it.
It's the same reason, though. You have all the years to figure out, all the behind-the-scenes stuff.
I forgot Mandy Patinkin too, as San Francisco, the alien.
We talked about that, right? That's like, speaking of that, that's the best on the set fix ever.
6 or 7 years, Larry, or 22 episodes.
Yeah.
I think he's
what? I don't know. No, I'm thinking there was tons of like TV movies. It was maybe the first bit was only 22 episodes.
I'm nominating this guy for a Quatlu thing.
They kept that alive.
Steve's coming at Larry. He's like, no, Larry, you're not telling the truth.
It was the early 90s. My memory's going.
But it was amazing, and they gave you more insights into the culture of the aliens. I believe the filmmakers and stuff were heavily involved with the show. And so like they took it and really fleshed it out. There were different casts of aliens. Remember, there was an overseer cast, and there was the kind of the worker bee ones, and it was really cool. They had that cool graffiti language they would write in the like waveform graffiti. It was cool. That was awesome.
I just looked it up. Steve's right. It's 22 episodes.
Steve,
over 7 years. So you're both right.
Maybe it took me 7 years to watch it.
Yeah.
That might actually be what I'm thinking. Anyway, it was a great show.
I know, I do. It was fantastic. Just what they did with that time. I remember really, really looking forward to that and being like as surprised as could be at what a good show it was. It was really like District 9.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way before that.
District 9 owes a lot to Alien Nation.
We'll have to do it. I'm gonna have to watch that, but I'm gonna have to wait till after March. See, because that one is firmly in the corporate media.
I've been trying to get my kid to watch that for a year, and we always end up like buying into something else. He's watching Deadwood now, so I'm like, I can't say no. Change your focus to this thing.
And anyway, I'm looking it up too. There were comics. There was a ton of Alien Nation comics that came out.
Yeah, it seems like that thing had a much bigger footprint on pop culture than just 1 year of 22 seasons.
Yeah, it's really almost like you know what you're thinking? It reminds me of Stargate, one of those few like sci-fi franchises where the show came on and really took over. Or Highlander. How about Highlander? That's another one. You ever see Highlander, the TV show?
I did.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Really enjoyed that.
And I'm sure there are many actors from Star Trek that were in Highlander, the TV show. That was the first show where I saw that there was overlap between the movie and the TV world. Like in the pilot, they got Christopher Lambert to come in and shake his hand. And there can be only one, and I'll kill you last, and I'll see you later. And so it was like, oh, that's cool. We'll follow this guy now. He's related. We won't think too much about there can be only one.
And wasn't it the renegade himself, Lorenzo Lamas, as the Highlander?
No, it was actor named Adrian Paul, I think. Adrian Paul. It's cool.
Adrian Paul, that's right. Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. My dad loved the Highlander. The Highlander was on in my house.
I loved it
between
until
Star Trek and Highlander. That's it. Like
I loved it until Tessa left.
I agree. Steve Ukrin. Ukrin? Is that right?
Ukraine. You with a U. Ukraine.
Oh, well, hats off to you, Steve Ukraine. I'm sorry about
Ukraine.
I'm sorry about your recent invasion. I don't mean to take that lightly for any Ukrainian
Buffy
out there watching.
Buffy's a great choice, Mr.
Oh, okay, another one. Great.
Buffy's a great choice. It's a solid movie, but that show is just for a while.
In the sense that I can't stand that show. I
never watched one.
I've never watched it. I can't watch any of that Joss Whedon stuff. Makes me bananas because when I had the comic book store, the fans of that stuff, they spent a lot of money, so I can't say too much about them. But man, they were like not.
They were very nice people. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
No, actually, they were. They were just like so like, oh my God, can you believe Western in outer space? Joss Whedon's a genius. Nobody else
I see.
It felt like they thought that was like the most original concept in the world to have a space Western, and I just like, I don't know. That's for the
Well,
finalists.
no one has ever written female characters as good as Joss Whedon. I mean, everyone knows that. You know?
Yeah. I just find it really funny how, like, my aversion to that whole thing was, like, justified in the end.
Born out, dude.
I got a whiff of that guy through the pop culture world.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. I just was always kind of away from it, but perfect answer, Mr. Yonifui.
Oh yeah, for the parameters, that is.
And I guess there's other. I'm trying hard to think of other shows like that, but that's a pretty decent one. And that's I'm still gonna put Alien Nation at the top of my list though. For
definitely top 5. Never even seen it. It's top 5.
It sounds like it should be up there.
Sounds like a top 5 show. Yeah. Speaking of top 5 shows, not Star Trek, but can we just talk real quick about they changed the ship looks like Eddie Van Halen's guitar. Yeah, it doesn't look like that anymore.
The Serena, La Serena.
La Serena.
Yeah,
and they have a joke about it, like yeah. And Seven's like, oh yeah, I turned it into like a warship or patrol, whatever she said.
No,
I turned it
was
into
like
a kick-ass ship or something.
I love that he was all like, "What did you do to my ship?" Which is kind of a sci-fi cliche. And she's like, "Yeah, fuck you. I was saving people. I couldn't be bothered to keep up that nonsense paint job. They fucking didn't make any sense."
I think I got the impression, like, whether we'll get into our final thoughts eventually, but
Jesus,
I just mean eventually, but
our final thoughts,
but whether we like the show, dislike the show, whatever. But I felt at every step of this episode, it's like, well, we know they changed creative teams, but it's like they watched and read every single review and was like, yeah, that was a shitty thing that we did. We should not do that anymore. We should change this. Like, why does it look like Eddie Van Halen's guitar? That's fucking stupid. Like it just felt like at every moment, the only thing was they still have the stupid Seven Raffi relationship, which doesn't make any sense in any world whatsoever. But it felt like at every other point, they're like, yeah, we should have done this season 1 and we didn't. So let's just do it now. And they brought back the Okudas. They brought back Doug Drexler. They got the Star Trek Online guys to design ships and build the models for that little scene. Like, from my perspective, as a ship guy, like that was pretty good. The Stargazer itself is fucking atrocious, but
even without knowing that whole thing about the model makers, like because we're on the Star Trek models and Starship modeler stuff online, so we're like Bob, what's that guy's name? Bob, not Bob Harris. Anyway, somebody had, it was prominently featured, so it was just like cool to see that shot where it's like, oh, hey, that's like Dantron in the
all those different ships,
No, but at least there were different ships instead of Picard last
year.
Right,
instead of the last year, they got lambasted. They got torn apart on the internet. That's what I'm talking about, though. It's like they were like, "Yeah, that was a stupid thing. We shouldn't have done that." Like, let's.
Well, what do you think? Do you think like? I think sometimes I like. Sometimes I don't like it when they're too responsive to like what the fans are demanding. I think a couple of shows recently have suffered because this on the sci-fi theme. Like Rick and Morty, that's one of the big complaints people have had about it, is that like people said like the fan base started making these demands and they started sort of like changing the show to fit more like what the fans' conception of the show was, and that's led to bad ratings, bad reviews since then. Do you think that a fan base is always right about?
No. The fan base is not always right, and it's like a good friend of mine, Larry Young, once said, you have to give the fans what'd you say? Don't give them what they want, give them what they need. That's
that's a Larry answer.
So that's what the Mandalorian does, right?
But that's why Mandalorian gives them what they need. Kurtzman has no idea what they need.
Kurtzman's not a Star Trek fan. He's not in tune with this in any way.
if you're trying to sell people cheeseburgers at McDonald's, you have to realize why people like cheeseburgers at McDonald's, right? I mean, and they don't get it. And if they do get it, somebody's stopping them from putting it on. Because part of Discovery was all just, I don't even know the characters' names, but they're all just like talking about, oh, you got to be your true self, and it's important to be authentic. And it's like, really, Tig? I mean, I'm glad you're there, but can you be the version of a Starfleet officer that says wacky stuff? Because that totally works. And all the other cast members have all this oozing emotion stuff.
That's what I like about Lower Decks, though. It's like there's plenty of, obviously, it's a much more, comedic take on it, of course. But they're still having storylines with emotion. There's still character development. But they're doing it in a world where they're kind of giving more realistic and irreverent kind of reactions to Star Trek situations, right? If I came across a spatial anomaly, Jean-Luc Picard would be like, oh, let's figure out this anomaly. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Why is that thing blue? Like, what? Like,
your point is so awesome, though, that it's their reactions to Star Trek situations, right? Which Picard and Discovery just don't have.
No.
It's like,
I will say, I mean, now my problem, I have a lot of problems with I like the production of this episode, right? From the production standpoint, I like that they seemingly responded to criticisms, right? What I don't like is what I think the story is going to fucking be, which is the Borg are trying to change the past, which is, we already had like First Contact. We already had Tapestry. We already had All Good Things. Like, we don't need to see Jean-Luc Picard fucking going off about, oh, my past is my future. Yeah, no shit, dude. We already found that out multiple times. Like,
I hope they do. The Borg are trying to join the Federation without assimilating everybody. Right? Do something weird. Like, if you're gonna say something like that, just friggin' lean into it.
Oh, and it's all because of Janeway, my girl.
Is it?
She destroyed she took out the Borg. She was like, yo, Borg, suck it. I love that woman. Sorry, Mrs.
I'm just unfamiliar with her whole story because it's nonsense.
Well, because it's all up here.
Right. Anyway, there we go. Dantron.
There it is.
I feel so bad that because of your March of Independence, you feel sort of.
Oh, dude, I wasn't gonna watch this shit anyway. Are you kidding me? So like, this is fine. This is perfect.
We watched this shit, so you don't have to.
What I realized is when I started thinking about that stuff, like what's going to be easy and what's going to be hard. If I really stuck hard to my rules, like I originally put them out there, like I can't read a book, like you're saying, pretty much, Larry, by any known author. And music is turning out to be the one that's really the
that killing you
and the hard. I mean, I can use YouTube and stuff, television and movies. There is no shortage of that stuff, of really high quality stuff to watch on the internet, on YouTube specifically.
So what prompted No Media March? Is this,
no corporate media? You know what? I don't know. To tell you the truth is that I just wanted to. I started thinking maybe we talk about the lack of imagination and the lack of new concepts and lack of things that we're seeing out there. And I think
Picard,
the mainstream. And I think a lot of that is because it's the flip side of the connectiveness we all got from everybody saw Star Wars and most people liked it. The flip side is we got put into this sort of like tunnel vision of what sci-fi had to be, maybe. You know what I mean? Or what any genre or what storytelling or what like was an acceptable level of production values that I will even watch it and I can enjoy it. And what I realize when I watch YouTube and the low budget stuff is there's great stuff that has zero budget and production values, but just has clever writing. And that is enough The writing alone is enough. And then when they take it and they couple it with just a little bit of special effects or like visual effects, which now is easier than ever. That's why I think we're coming into this age where we're this atomized age of media. Where these days, if you talk to kids about what they like you go into a classroom and you say, like, what's the things you like, the comics you like or whatever, it's going to be 20 different things from 20 different kids and not necessarily a lot of overlap between them of what more like in college, I guess. But like there's so many choices. And that atomization is coming with a cost and a benefit. And I don't know. I want to see if it changes the way I think about things, or do I get a Jones for like the hardcore uncut Kirkman, Kurtzman rather? Do I need the high level special effects and crappy been there, done that storylines again?
Interesting.
I don't know that I do.
That's like some bands when they go to record, they'll isolate themselves and literally just not listen to anything. All they do is just write their own music because they don't want to be influenced by anything. So that's interesting. Yeah.
And also it started from news, especially because that's something that I naturally gave up, the mainstream corporate media, because it's by far the worst out there. It is.
Yeah.
The only thing they get in the mainstream media is access to those at the highest levels, but then they just feed them bullshit anyway when they talk.
They use each other. Oh yeah.
To me, it's better to watch, and I watch all the shit. I watch the liberal stuff, the conservative stuff, the far, like all ends of the spectrum. I really enjoy that kind of political discussion. So, so that was easy for me, and I decided if I can do that, maybe the same is true for other mediums and other stuff.
That reminds me of in Picard episode 1 when the Federation News Service came to interview Picard, and she was all like, "So, why do you hate Romulans, or why do you love Romulans more than you hate humans, or whatever she said?" And he was like, "All lives matter."
What? Sputter.
Okay, we got it.
I don't know what NAMDLA is. The North American Dan Love Association. Okay, that's what it is.
Okay. I mean, we do love Dantron,
Yikes.
Yikes. I just want to point out the uniforms are a much needed positive direction. Still not there yet. But
I like the black collar.
The black collar is nice. I like they got the T-Walk style monster maroon zipper.
Yeah.
I like that.
You need a belt.
They need to use the actual all good things comm badges instead of the shitty Picard ones that they use. But I like the one Picard had that was kind of like the Wrath of Khan one. That was fun.
That was his Chancellor of the Academy pin.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I'm gonna get that on Etsy.
I was already looking. No, wait. Before you get away from the heraldry, the one thing that bothered me, oh my God, so much, where they had where he was giving the rah-rah speech to the Academy, and they had all the flags behind him. The fucking Starfleet Academy flag now has the side pin thing that Discovery has all of a sudden.
Why do they keep discovering the whole imagery? It drives me nuts.
I'm like, the only way I will take that is if it's some kind of nod to the past. But if that's the modern, what they're saying now is the Picard era Starfleet insignia, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. I hate it.
Understand why I don't.
They want everything asymmetrical because life is fucking bananas. But stop it. That's not what action adventure is. It's like everybody in the audience knows that, and they're trying to escape from all that shit. So stop making everything asymmetrical. Nothing is,
and it's just more visual. It's just more visual evidence they don't understand their universe. Like, you're watching Star Trek because Star Trek is supposed to give you, at least in theory, a sort of moral direction. moral direction to go to. Now, whether the characters live up to that direction is the story, right? But Starfleet itself is this North Star that, the Federation is this North Star over here that you're achieving towards, right? And the struggle of Kirk and Janeway and Sisko and Picard was to live up to that North Star, right? Fucking Kurtzman is like, oh, Federation, whatever. Oh, we're over here just raping babies. It's fucking stupid. This isn't the best segue, but
I agree.
This little badge here was made by an awesome guy named David Porter. You can check him out on the YouTubes, DCPFX. If I got that correct, my phone died, so I'm not sure if I got that correct. But it's awesome. He sent me this. It's awesome. I don't know what the material is, but it's awesome, and it's a magnet, so you can wear it on your Starfleet uniform or your sweatshirt when you get back from work.
Well, it's magnetic. I love it. That's how futuristic.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great. It's the same size, so it fits with any of your other, QCPFX ones, whatever. QFX, whatever it is.
Dave Porter just recently passed 1,000 subscribers.
Oh my God. You glitched
thing.
on my screen for a second and you were like, Dave Porter just recently passed. I'm like, oh my God. When did that happen? When did that happen? No.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, man. Go subscribe to Dave Porter, DCPFX. He's amazing. Really cool guy, even though he's Canadian. All right.
Like, hey guys, you want to see something a little? This is like science fiction, but it's real live science fiction. I got a video clip I thought we could watch together, and we can even comment on it while it's playing a little bit if you'd like it. Mm-hmm. I want you to check this out. This is from
This is Pager. He's a 9-year-old macaque who had a Neuralink placed in each side of his brain about 6 weeks ago.
Neuralink.
If you look carefully, you can see that the fur on his head hasn't quite fully grown back yet. Mm-hmm. He's learned to interact with a computer for a tasty banana smoothie delivered through a straw.
Dude, I love banana smoothies.
We can interact with the Neuralinks simply by pairing them
basically
to
what
an
I
iPhone,
do on this show.
just as you might pair your phone to a Bluetooth speaker.
This is
how
great.
we
You
get
can
Planet of the Apes.
pouring your phone to the monkey's brain.
The links record from
This
more
is
than
how we get
2,000
Planet of the Apes. Do
electrodes
people not
implanted
watch
in the
movies?
regions of Pager's motor cortex that coordinate hand
Well, so they
and arm
record it,
movements.
right?
Neurons in this region modulate their activity with intended hand movement. For example, some might become more active when he moves his hand up, and others when he moves it to the right. By recording from many neurons and feeding their activity into a decoder algorithm, we are able to predict Pager's intended hand movements in real time.
Right, so they record
Using
him.
these data,
They go back
calibrate
and
the
analyze the
decoder by
brain.
mathematically modeling the relationship between patterns of neural activity and the different joystick movements they produce.
And now notice
After
the
only a
joystick
few
is
minutes of
unplugged.
calibration, we can use the output from the decoder to move the cursor instead of the joystick. Pager still moves the joystick out of habit, but as you can see, it's unplugged. He's controlling the cursor entirely with decoded neural activity.
But he thinks he's using the joystick.
Our goal is to enable a person with paralysis to use a computer or phone with their brain activity alone.
Oh, that's fun.
Because they wouldn't be able to move a joystick, they would calibrate the decoder by imagining hand movements to targets. One of the things the
Right, so
Neuralinks
now
allow Pager to do
he's fully
is to
unplugged,
play his
doesn't need
favorite
the hand
video game,
movements or anything.
Pong.
His hand is now
To
free
control
from
his
whatever he's
paddle
doing down,
on
whatever
the right
monkey
side of the
he's
screen,
up there.
Pager simply thinks about moving his hand up or down. We've removed the joystick altogether. Now that he's up to speed, let's increase the difficulty and see how well Pager can play with the Neuralink.
As
you can see,
doing vape hits?
Pager is amazingly good.
This is a lot
at
like
playing Pong,
Fleet
He's
Captain
focused.
Christopher Pike.
and he's playing entirely of his own volition.
Beep.
Well, guys, so this is our bold new
It's not
future.
magic.
This is
The reason
Elon
Neuralink
Musk's
works
other
is
company.
because it's recording and decoding
Right, he's got
electrical
Tesla, he's
signals
got
from
the
brain.
Boring Company doing those tunnels.
Great game, Pager.
Flamethrowers.
And what better reward for a monkey than a banana?
Fantastic.
We
Good for
still
you,
have
monkey.
challenges.
Beautiful stuff,
Yeah.
right? And I happen to have a simulation of like what you could do with this. like the kind of magic that you could get up to, and how amazing this could truly be. Can you imagine this? I think this is what everybody needs in their home, and I think this proves the tremendous potential of the metaverse. Ah, yes, Monkey, yes.
Yes, Monkey.
It's all very frightening.
Enjoy your smoothie, Monkey. So I think this is our bold new future, fellas, whether we like it or not. I think this stuff is going to become like it's happening in front of our eyes, right? We got the self-driving cars, we're getting the robots. I've seen jetpacks out there that you can buy. Have you seen those Iron Man armor guys, with the wrist rockets and all that good stuff? No, you haven't seen.
The future is now. The future is now.
I want to bring the future that is today to this show, fellas. Because God knows science fiction ain't happening. We're catching up.
Well, I can tell you the future of next Thursday is episode 2 of Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, I think Dan
Tron's
going to start watching TV.
That's all I got. That's all I got about the future. Always in motion, the future is.
Wait a minute, fellas. That sound means that we're out of time and or conversation points. So it's time,
I was going to say.
Time to fly. I got a video that'll get us out of here. I always like to bring a little something Star Trek related. I've got a few to choose from today. Oh, man. Since we were talking about shuttlecrafts just a little bit, Larry had shown that thing on Facebook I thought we were going to talk about today, that shuttlecraft action. But I got something shuttlecraft related for us to go out on. So let's enjoy this video while we can, shall we? And we'll see you next Friday at noon. Where at again, Larry?
On the internet.
Excuse me, I'm interested in the new collector's ornament from Hallmark.
Ah, the shuttlecraft Galileo from the Starship Enterprise.
Precisely.
You know, it lights up when you plug it in. And listen.
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper.
Fascinating.
For a store in your sector now carrying the Star Trek ornament, call 1-800-HALLMARK.
Live long and prosper, right?
No, I'll take 5.